So even though I've already vlogged myself driving for dollars, I still need to go driving again. So I'm gonna talk to you guys about marketing. This session that I got going on right now with this driving for dollars, basically I need to drive for probably the next 4 to 5 days to blanket my whole market, and then I'm gonna extend myself into another market. So we need to basically, I need to pick up like 7,000 houses. Yeah. So let's get started.
Told you not to call here. It's not for sale. Quit texting me and aggravating.
All right, so I'm going back to another area that I've been targeting consistently. I don't know how many miles I've actually driven like on my Deal Machine app. So basically I erased everything from Deal Machine, and I started a new list about 2 weeks ago, I think, maybe a week ago, I don't even know. But basically I want to drive and pick up all the houses that I can in this area that meet my criteria, which is just basically distressed homes. And my goal is around 2,000 to 3,000. Go to another part of Charlotte and pick up another maybe 2,000 to 3,000. I want to have at least 12,000 total, maybe a little bit more than that, because my cold caller, he's like going crazy now. I upgraded my mojo. As funny as that sounds, you know, I feel like I'm in an Austin Powers movie. I upgraded my mojo to a triple line dialer. So right now he's experimenting with 2 lines and it's been going great. He's been doing like 600 to 700 phone calls a day. That is crazy, because he was barely hitting like 200 to 300, 400 every once in a while that he would be like actually going ham. So like to reach 600 phone numbers to 700 phone numbers in one day is crazy. That means, like, if you think about it, most skip tracing services give you anywhere from like, I would say the average is around 3 phone numbers per lead. It's around like what, like 300 people roughly, 200 to 300 people. So I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, so that's why I'm stepping up my marketing right now, and we're trying to pick up as many houses as we can. That way we can hit as many houses as we possibly can. All right, so I've gotten to my destination here where I'm gonna start driving. And as always, I'm gonna tell you guys exactly what I'm using for my settings. I always go to tap to add mode in Deal Machine. As far as my highlights, I generally only highlight anything that's built before 1990 or absentee owners. And not that I only pick absentee owners, but you know, absentee owners always have a higher possibility of wanting to sell because it's not the current property that they live in. I'm gonna go ahead and start driving. So what about marketing? The reason why a lot of you new wholesalers are absolutely terrible at marketing is because you're overcomplicating it. Truly. One of the best ways, look at that, I already got my first property and it's owned by the city. Beautiful. So one of the first things that you have to know about marketing is obviously being consistent. I know I talk about it a lot, consistency, and I probably annoy the crap out of most people talking about consistency, because it definitely is it's a major part of anything that you do in wholesaling. Let me get around the corner here. So the biggest thing is that, so you're marketing for motivated sellers. Who are these motivated sellers? Like, what type of people are they? Are they rich? Are they poor? Are they, you know, over the age of 40, under the age of 100? Are they under the age of 40? What kind of people would sell you? What would possess them to want to sell you their house? Let's start with that. What what type of person should you market to? Would you market to somebody who's 20 years old saying, hey, I'll buy your house fast? No, because he's probably going to be like, yeah, I saw a video on this the other day about some dude trying to wholesale. You know, I'm exaggerating, of course, but I'm over here. I'm trying to determine whether this is vacant or not. Probably is. So the reality of it is, it's not going to be somebody young, because they haven't really held on to the property long enough, unless it's an heir. You know, grandma passed away and left him a house. He might try to do something with it. He might not. Who knows? You know, you just never know. But you're gonna market to people who are in distressed situations. House is falling apart. Maybe it's vacant. You know, maybe they've been living in it for a very long time and they just don't know what to do with it anymore. Who knows? You know, you just never know the type of situations that people are in, or what could have them in that situation. But when it comes down to marketing, it comes down to keep it really simple as possible. You know, are you targeting absentee owners? Cool. What other level should you target on an absentee owner? Absentee owner that's owned the property for 20 years or more. Great way to simply strip all of the people that have probably just bought a rental property or have been holding a rental property for a while. I've had a lot of success with just marketing to people who have owned the property for over 20 years. Whether, whatever type of owner they are, whether they're absentee, owner occupied, I've gotten a lot of success doing that. And it's just because it works. It really works. You know, people that have owned the property for 20 years or more, they're more likely to be like, you know, I'm done with this place. Can I just sell it and get it out of my hair? Because that person is just, they're done with it. They've owned the property long enough. They got equity in it. And on top of the equity part, they're just sick of it. Because they don't have anything else to do with it. Like, most people buy, oh man, that's a good one over there. Most people buy investment properties for one sole purpose: income. You know, they want to make some income. Whatever the income that they determine would be, you know, sufficient for them is completely up to them. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm over here. I've got a bunch of properties that I'm like picking up one after the other. It's surprising, actually. But I've actually driven this neighborhood before and I've missed a lot of these properties. But yeah, when you're marketing to people, you just want to keep it simple. Don't overthink it, number one. My biggest thing was that, like, I thought that I had to be like list stacking king of the world, stack like 100 different types of lists on you know, whatever it was, like absentee, tax delinquent, and all that stuff. It's funny because I've actually gotten less leads that are motivated from a tax delinquent list than I have from a regular list. Like, if I go and drive and pick up like 1,000 properties, the people who might respond to me are the guys who are like not tax delinquent, or the tax delinquent maybe 1 year, believe it or not. And it's funny like that. It really is, because you know, you come across different people and different levels of motivation, like what really has people motivated. And the tax delinquency has not been a real successful one. Out of all the deals I've done, literally, this is real numbers. 20% have been tax delinquent. Does that mean a tax delinquent list wouldn't work? No, absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying. But don't look at factors and think that, you know, oh, this is the only determining factor on why somebody would want to sell their property. The real reality is, it'll be sitting there, it's falling apart. Those super distressed properties are where the money lies. The more distressed they are, the more that these people don't want to deal with them, and the more they're like, you know what, I just don't want to deal with this headache property. It's just too much for me to handle. And which is good and bad at the same time, because you never want somebody to be at some type of point of disparity where they're like, oh my god, I can't stand this anymore, or I'm just so upset that I can't deal with this anymore. Even though, yes, we will make money off of something like that, where somebody's just like, I'm just so tired of this, I can't deal with it anymore. You still you don't wish bad on anybody. You want people to succeed. The more they succeed, the better it is for all of human race. So understanding, like, who are you marketing to? Like, all of you guys are all trying to do something different. Like, you're trying to do cold calling, or you're trying to do ringless voicemail, whatever it is that you guys are trying to do. That's that property. Just realize that you should stick to one thing and do it. Like, just because cold calling works for me doesn't mean you should go run off and do cold calling. I'll be honest with you, don't do it, because you'll end up hating it, or something will go wrong and you'll be like, oh, this doesn't work, or pissed off, whatever it may be. Just don't go and do something because somebody else is doing it. Do it because you want to try to understand it. Marketing is a test. It's a probability. And what I mean by probability is you're marketing to find people, but there's absolutely no guarantee whether any of these people are ever going to respond to you. Isn't that how marketing works? You really have no idea whether these people are really gonna either come in contact with you, or you come in contact with them, or are you ever gonna succeed. And that's what marketing is. It's all a testing. Like, if you guys have done drop shipping, I don't know if some of you have, or maybe have looked at it, they send out test Facebook ads to see if they work. That's all it is. Your marketing is a test. And when your marketing works, don't change it. Like, you want to change little bits and pieces of it. I'll give you an example. When I was doing bandit signs, I thought, you know what? I should put out more bandit signs. And that was a terrible idea. Not saying that don't put out more bandit signs, but I was attributing my success to the bandit signs, not knowing where or how I was succeeding in bandit signs. Like, why were the bandit signs working? And when it came down to it, it's actually the placement of the bandit signs were the key to my success. I had put them around Walmarts. I had put them near, like business parks where people worked at. That's what really made me succeed in wholesaling. Like, that was the contributing factor to my success, was the fact that they were in areas where people, were highly coming through. Like, who doesn't have to go to work? I stopped putting them in neighborhoods and stuff like that where they weren't working, because I tried that one time. I tried putting them in neighborhoods, and the only thing I had was code enforcement calling me, telling me to take down my bandit signs. And that'll happen too. I mean, that's part of the game we play. It is absolutely part of the game we play. So definitely, guys, make your marketing simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't think you need all these different lists. The water list, the electric list, the open, code enforcement list, the child support list, whatever, jail list. Everybody picks their own little niche to go after and, own little thing to market for, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Like Tom Kroll, he markets to people who are recently incarcerated. Does it work? Yeah, absolutely it works. He makes like over $1 million a year. But does that mean that you have to do that in order to succeed? No. Like, I mean, in my area, I can't get a hold of a jail list. I mean, I could, but it'd be so hard to like convert that into like a real list to use that it would take me forever. It was just like driving for dollars. It was a total waste of time when I was doing it by hand. with Deal Machine, it's made it a whole lot easier, and also, you know, it's made it faster for me to come across my deals, skip trace them, and roll with them. But does that mean, you know, did that mean that driving for dollars didn't work? No, I found a way to make it work for me. And that's how you should look at your marketing. You know, find a way to make it work for you. Find a way that it would work, not so much flawlessly, but a way that would make it simple, easy to use, and not complicated. The more you complicate it, the worse time you'll have wholesaling. Oh, look, this house right here is vacant, and it usually never is. I know I'm like mixing two things with one. You know, I'm driving for dollars, and I'm over here, you know, like trying to explain to you guys on marketing. But oh, I almost took out this light pole. Oh wow, look at that. I don't know. I don't think you could really see it. All the siding is like falling off, fascia's falling off. This is a great property to try to target, because that's something easy to fix, and it's getting worse, and more than likely they just don't have the money to deal with that. Yeah, but when you guys keep your marketing simple, and when I mean simple, like just make it something absolutely so simple it'll seem stupid. That's how simple you want it to be. Like when I first started, I blanketed an entire neighborhood, and I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but you know, it's a good possibility. Where's an area that most people would want to sell a house? And I just picked a neighborhood. I skip trace, called everybody. I actually didn't know it was an actual thing called skip tracing for dollars, but I did it and it worked. It worked completely the way I didn't think it was gonna work. Don't make things so complicated to where you're like, oh, is this gonna work? Or oh, I don't think that this is a good idea. Just do it, because you're not gonna know if it works or not unless you just do it. That's the simple fact. Because most marketing, or it's not even most marketing, it's all marketing is a test. You're basically testing out what works, what doesn't work, and you have to be patient with your testing. This is not something that you're gonna test it out today and tomorrow you're gonna see results. You're not gonna see that at all. Like you're actually gonna be disappointed at the results of what you're gonna do, like all your effort. You're gonna be disappointed because you're hoping, and I, you know, when I did the same thing with bandit signs, and I think with any marketing that I've ever done, I've been disappointed with like the first results, because you're hoping that, you know, my phone's gonna ring off the hook when I do this, and the reality is nobody's gonna call you. I'm just kidding. Somebody will call you, and maybe the right person might call you, maybe the wrong person might call you. It really depends. It really depends. And you know, don't be afraid, guys. Don't be afraid to spend some money on some marketing. You know, because there's only two possibilities. You can either win or you can lose. And if you lose, the loss is not big. It's temporary. It's something temporary, you know, that will turn around, and you'll make something happen out of it. That's the great thing about marketing. You know, you can always change little things about it. For instance, that whole targeting everybody in the neighborhood, skip tracing for dollars, while it worked, was it a long-term game? Like, could I continue to skip trace everybody in the neighborhood and ask them if they were interested in selling? Yeah, I could have. But, you know, it wasn't a good long-term strategy, because I was looking at the money I was spending in skip tracing and everything, and I was like, you know, I want to refine this a little bit. How can I refine it? So that's funny. Somebody bought this piece of land, and the LLC name is Someday Soon. The reality of you know, skip tracing a whole neighborhood, does it work? Yes, but it's just like sending out direct mail. You know, you're gonna send out a bunch of mail. Who knows if somebody's gonna answer or not? And it's a whole lot of money spent. Now, I mean, I could keep doing it. I'm not gonna lie and say that you know, you wouldn't make any money doing it, but you want to refine what works and refine it down to like a science. Like, I know that the person who's going to most likely sell to me is going to own the property for at least 10 years or more. The property is going to be in disrepair, and the owner is going to live nearby or out of state. You know, it's going to be an absentee owner, not owner occupied. The amount of owner occupied properties in deals I've done is probably like 30 to 40%. So when you look at that, yes, you know, if I had targeted only absentee owners, I would still make a killing, and I would just be focusing on those type of people. I'd be missing out on the owner occupied stuff. It would still benefit me because, you know, I know who's responding to me. Who is it that has responded to me? My deals that I've done, how have I done them? Like, the people that ended up answering my ringless voicemail, my text messages, my whatever it was, what type of person was it? So I'm gonna cut this video here, guys. I appreciate you guys watching for so long. If you've watched this long, I know that I am probably rambling on at this point, but you definitely want to just keep your marketing absolutely as simple as possible, because that's the only way that you're going to succeed. So I appreciate everybody watching this vlog, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Hopefully it'll be something a little bit more exciting than today, if you can even see my face.